Ladies and gentlemen, my dreams have come true. TNA canceled off of Destination America. Impact has been canceled. Thank the Lord. Now, why am I so happy? People are gonna start crying in these first few seconds in this video. WWE sucks. TNA rules. It's not fair. You're biased. Well, be that as it may, I'm biased or whatever it may be. But, I will always love WWE, or at least like it, based on the history of that company. TNA, this shit fucking company. Just think about it in your minds for one moment here. We discussed this. What was it in my NXT review? I came into the comments. I even started fucking typing to people. Started interacting in the YWC, guys. I'm interacting. People have yelled at me in the past for not answering comments. So I'm trying to be more active with that. I'm a work in progress, guys, antisocial and shit. So, I'm trying to fucking get out there a bit and answer some questions. But when I do, it's pure fucking madness. People started yelling at me in my NXT review. A great fucking show. See, now that's a good wrestling show. Promoted properly. Everything felt important, not forgotten in like fucking 2 minutes. Like when TNA has a good match, I can't even remember it 3 weeks later because it's more the fact that it was just a good match, not even a memorable match. And that's all it fucking was. And it's going to be forgotten in like 2 minutes. TNA has a Hall of Fame and it doesn't even deserve to have one. See, when WWE has a Hall of Fame, it actually fucking means something. They like to pretend, TNA fans, that this is a company that has history. At first, you could make that argument. TNA used to be a part of the NWA. It's not anymore. They divorced themselves from the NWA, and even before then, the NWA was a fucking joke. It wasn't the same NWA that became WCW. You could go through all the fucking history, but people like to pretend about that. But anyway, the main reason why people love TNA is because it's an alternative to WWE. Let's just break through all the bullshit right here. It's not because it's so much better and, it's amazing. You would think that, like, these wrestlers are in outer space fucking fighting aliens and some shit. Like, it's so much different than WWE. It's not. It's just a poor man's WWE. For God fucking sakes, half the wrestlers used to be in WWE and made their names in WWE. Like fucking Bobby Lashley, for instance, the fucking champion. That is a WWE wrestler. That guy made his name in WWE. He wrestled John Cena in main events, for God fucking sakes. So you can see where I'm coming from. The tag champs was Chavo, Guerrero, and you had many other wrestlers. Look at MVP. MVP, debuted in WWE, and they made a big deal with him, during his debut. So, you come to TNA, he doesn't even have his theme music, and I don't care what anybody says. When they come in there, some of them have to have a completely different name. Like Team 3D couldn't be the Dudley Boys. Different music. They lose their identity, these wrestlers. There's a whole thing about this. The way how a wrestler is promoted and presented to you on TV or at a live event goes a long way. It's more than just a match. Let's just get that straight with WWE. You see how WrestleMania is with all the entrances and shit? It goes a long way. No one just sits there and wants just a match. A match don't mean fucking shit at the end of the day. It's about the entrances, the promo, the build up to the match. And, once in a while, there could be shit build up in the case like with WWE with like Triple H and Sting. Shit build up, a good match, you know, because the presentation of the overall match was so well done. There's a lot of nuances that go into a match in a wrestling event. And people like to ignore this and, oh, it's just all about great wrestling, guys. Well, it's a little bit more technical than that. It's like saying, oh, that was a good movie. And, you know, why was it good? Oh, it had good scenes. You know, you got to be a bit more technical than that. You know, TNA fans are, you know, they like to pretend like they've got eclectic taste, that they're so fancy. Ooh, I don't want to touch that WWE product. You know what I mean? They're very well to do. They think they know everything, but they don't know fucking shit. They just, you know, oh, you guys watch WWE? Well, I watch TNA. Like it's some big fucking secret. Like it's underground or some fucking shit. You know, like you're so hardcore. You know, it's kind of like I did a video about this with certain metalheads. You know, if you like popular bands like Metallica and shit like that, you know, or, you know, whatever it may be, any type of popular band out there. Like I did a video on this, like if you like Asking Alexandria, oh, they're mainstream, oh, this, you know, I like this band. You know what I mean? It's just, you could go on all day about it. At the end of the day, everybody has their opinions and shit. But the thing is, I see more TNA fans attacking WWE fans than WWE fans attacking TNA fans. Most WWE fans, like myself, are just fucking trying to watch the show. Yeah, we know it's fucking shit, but we've been watching this shit for a while. There's many people like myself, you know, at this particular age, you know, just watching it out of habit. You know, they enjoy the show. Even though WWE has a shit fucking show, I still enjoy sitting down, watching it. It gives me something to follow. I've explained in the past I'm not into sports, so I like, you know, an ongoing thing to follow and everything. And it's interesting, the characters. I like to see, you know, what they've got planned. Even if it's not good, it's still like something to just focus on and, you know, and like and escape reality and shit. You know, even if it's fucking shit. You know what I'm saying. Millions of people, the 3 million people that still fucking watch it, and, you know, the tens of thousands that go every week to the shows, they know what I'm talking about. You know, a lot of them realize and recognize it's a shit fucking show, but they know what I'm saying. But anyway, in the case of TNA, why are we gonna watch this? You know, it's a shit fucking show. There's no good matches really ever on Impact. The promos are just horrible. For everybody that attacks WWE with their overscripted promos, are you telling me that those promos on Impact are not fucking scripted? They're horrible. You're gonna listen to guys like Eric Young and shit on the mic, and Bobby Roode just boring the fucking shit out of everybody. You know, so there's, and when they do have good matches, like when they were in New York, and they were doing shows at Hammerstein Ballroom, they had some good matches. It was okay, but, you know, there was still a lot of fucking shitty ass matches. They had the Hardys and, well, not Dudley Boys, but Team 3D, and basically what they were doing there was just capitalizing off of an old fucking WWE feud. So it's like, you know, and plus it was, from what I remember, a pretty decent match. I only watched it once, but, you know, you could go back and watch the old matches on the network that were 10 times better. So basically, you're taking two popular teams that made their names in WWE, and, you know, they're just presenting it here. And, you know, I watched it and I enjoyed it, but I think I even said it in my review last year. It's like, um, it doesn't feel the same because it's happening in a different company, in a different fucking setting, and it doesn't feel the same. You know, as I said, it has a lot to do with presentation. The same thing with a movie and cinematography. You know, it's like, how is it presented? You could have a lot of great scenes and great moments and great dialogue. But if the whole movie is shot like shit, it's gonna fucking suck. And I'm not saying that the fucking cameraman was on LSD when he was filming the match, but you know what I mean. It's like it's not presented in the same way. It's like, oh, okay, so you have a nice cheesecake in front of you, but let me cover it in shit. You see what I mean? It's like, yeah, there's cheesecake, but there's shit on top of it. There's something that's not right. I'm looking at it, and it just ain't right, is basically what I'm trying to say. It's not that hard to really understand. I'm trying to throw some metaphors at you so you can kind of comprehend what I'm trying to say. Because as many times as I come on here and I try to express my views about TNA, everybody seems very confused. Because you see, when you're dealing with the TNA fans, you're dealing with very small-minded people. Their brains, they just don't seem to comprehend it. Because you see, as much as they like to say that WWE has retarded my brain and other people's brains, TNA has retarded your brain that much more. Or you've allowed it. Then maybe TNA hasn't really done anything. It's just you. You've really led yourself to believe that this company is like a fucking godsend, and it's really nothing at all. I mean, all these talents, a lot of them reached, as far as you could go in the indies with ROH superstardom. These guys looked fabulous in fucking ROH, like fucking Christopher Daniels and that. And look how they just let AJ Styles walk out of the company. Not to say that TNA didn't handle AJ's career good, pretty well at times. Really, at the end of the day, it wasn't. You never really felt like AJ really got to where he needed to be in TNA. Always something with his title reign always got fucked up. The title always switched hands at the wrong moment before anybody could gain any type of momentum. They wanted to put the belt on Austin Aries, and it was great when he won it. And even at the time, I was happy. But it was a shit fucking reign. They couldn't get it right at all on anybody. Just look at the fucking history of the belt. They started off with Ken Shamrock, of all people. Think of how awesome it would have been if the company was built around Ken Shamrock, a great Attitude Era wrestler. A guy that, I thought that he would have been fucking great as world champion in WWE, but, it just wasn't to be. That's not taking a knock at the Attitude Era. There was a lot of great champions from there, and I think it was handled pretty well for the most part, but Ken Shamrock, probably deserved a bit more. And TNA could have capitalized on where WWE might have fucked up with Ken Shamrock, not giving him enough, main advantage and stuff, if that's even a fucking real term. They could have really capitalized on that, and they failed at it. They gave the belt to fucking R-Truth, who was K Crush at the time. What a weird transition that was. Not to say that R-Truth was not a fucking great talent. I mean, he still is. He still had a lot of potential, and he showed a lot of potential in WWE in 2011. See, even WWE fucks up, just like with R-Truth. They even had a chance to really, capitalize on Truth, and they didn't. But TNA could have. They had the momentum behind them. They could have taken that guy and really put him to the top, just like they could have done with Shamrock. See, and a lot of people probably don't even know this history. They don't even know where TNA started out. See, I actually ordered those godforsaken $10 pay-per-views. I did. I ordered a whole bunch of them, also looking for an alternative to WWE in 2002. Trying to, that was really one of my first times really stepping away from the mainstream with WWE and trying to, seek out some new avenues of wrestling. And I came upon that, and it was okay. Their first few shows, I remember they had, it was good to see a lot of these other wrestlers that kind of were in obscurity after WWE bought out WCW, but a lot of it was a lot of WCW rejects that couldn't make it into WWE, like Juventud Guerrera and a bunch of other guys like Teddy Hart, for example, who's just too much of a loose cannon to be anywhere else. They even threw his ass at ROH, for God's sakes. But, you know, you had a lot of different talent going in and out. And it was a little bit exciting in the beginning. So I could kind of see where people might really be in the TNA at that point. There was a lot of different wrestlers going in and out of that promotion, and it was pretty good. You know, pretty decent. You know, it was a big fucking mess. Plus, they had Vince Russo at the helm. There was like a lot of fucking nonsense, really. A lot of stuff that didn't even make sense. With Sports Entertainment Extreme, probably the weirdest faction I've ever seen. He even had Disco Inferno in there, for God's sakes. It was a mess. It felt like a cheap WCW ripoff after a while. And, you know, I really started to get a real bad taste in my mouth with this promotion. And then it was a fucking mess. Just like how TNA is today. They tried to book Hogan in a match against Jeff Jarrett. Hogan got injured. He fell or something and hurt his knee. And then they canceled their first ever pay-per-view and held it off for a whole fucking year. Just because they couldn't get Hogan. You know how embarrassing that is? It's like with WWE, if they cancel the pay-per-view because, you know, somebody in the main event gets injured. We've seen this before. You know, someone gets injured like Daniel Bryan last year. What did they do? They book something else. You know, they fucking make another match. You know, Daniel Bryan gets injured. They make a ladder match to crown a new champion. You know, they don't just fucking cancel the whole thing. So you can see, even around 2003, things were already going to fucking shit. And then, when they finally did have a pay-per-view, they were all fucking shitty. They had a whole bunch of thrown together matches, and really not much has changed with TNA. They had brief periods where they felt like the X Division was going to be their crowning achievement, and it did. I think I've talked about this in the past. Probably the best match they ever had was AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Christopher Daniels in a triple threat match. But somehow they couldn't keep that momentum. You know, they had a brief period like in 2005, which I will even admit, I was even starting to prefer TNA a little bit because WWE was really fucking sucking dick. And I really, really wanted an alternative. So I kind of, you know, found a little bit of peace in TNA. You know, that, you know, there was some good wrestling going on. And there was a lot of things that they were doing in TNA at that point with the X Division that they weren't doing in WWE. There, I said it. But it still didn't really feel complete. It didn't feel the same way as a WWE match. Still didn't find a lot of satisfaction in it because it didn't feel important. It didn't feel like this really mattered, and it didn't really feel like it was worth my time. There were good matches. There were good matches happening all over the place. And that's not for me to say that, you know, they don't have good matches in TNA. They happen all the time, or once in a while, if we're talking about recently. You know, not even like that they're like horrible matches all the time, but this company doesn't even matter. They don't give you a reason to care about anything. Now, the difference is with a company like ROH, they're even further down on the ladder, but their matches are promoted better. I don't really watch it a whole lot, but, you know, when I do go to the shows, they're a lot better. You know, they managed to just give these guys the right promos and, you know, and just put it in such a way where it seems like it matters. Now, it still doesn't measure up to WWE. You know, they're still you know, they're not at the same level of promoting things and really making them seem important. It's just that WWE magic that's pretty much unmatchable. You know, it's incomparable. You just can't get it to the same level. But, you know, but that's to say something about TNA. Even though they have tons of fucking money, they got millions, they can't even make a match seem as important as an ROH match, which has far less money to put into its productions. So, just go ahead and watch any ROH DVD or any fucking show for that matter, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It ain't the same thing, you know, because they think with a guy like Samoa Joe or AJ Styles, they bring him into TNA, and because they have more money, it seems more important. But actually, those epic CM Punk Joe matches from ROH felt way more important than anything in TNA. Everything in TNA just felt thrown together. And of course, a lot of this, what I'm saying, is people are going to be disagreeing with it over the place. I'm sure it's going to be down in the comments. Oh, that's your opinion. You just don't think it's important. No, this is how I analyze it in my head. They put it on the bigger stage and they think that's enough. Just because it's in TNA, it means more than it does in ROH or any other place. Well, enough about that. I also want to switch over to, TNA getting canceled and why it's getting canceled and, what's happening now in the YWC and even the IWC. The whole overlord of the YWC and the internet wrestling community. What's going on with that? What's happening because of TNA getting canceled? Josh Matthews is fucking having a goddamn orgasm on Twitter, fucking cursing people out and shit and saying, oh, give me a break. How does WWE, all the fans and everybody are acting like they know Samoa Joe, but they don't want to give credit to TNA. Okay, Samoa Joe made his name in ROH. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Samoa Joe's legacy started in ROH, did not start in TNA. So for them to take credit for that is fucking bullshit. I didn't like how they handled his career in TNA. His world title reign didn't mean fucking shit. Didn't seem important. They didn't build him up. The announcers did a piss poor job, and Mike Tenay, I'm looking at you. You did a good job in WCW, but you did a shit fucking job in TNA trying to promote these wrestlers. Everybody was just so poorly promoted in this company. They even made RVD look fucking cheap as hell. The minute he came into WWE with his original music and pyro and shit, people were loving RVD again. But nobody gave a fuck about him in TNA. And it's the same reason that I'm trying to make here with Samoa Joe. And of course, everybody attacks me because I'm excited to see Samoa Joe in NXT, WWE, whatever you want to consider it. And the thing is, I am genuinely excited about Samoa Joe being in NXT. Why? Because he's a good talent. Of course he is. Now, I knocked the fucking shit out of him in TNA. Why? Because he was poorly motivated. Aside from, some good matches like around 2005 and 2006, he was fucking shit, up until the point that he left. And I chalked it up to him not being motivated. He was demoralized. They made him feel like insufficient. They didn't really promote him properly or really at all. They didn't really make him seem like he was really worth anything. They made him the equivalent to a turd, basically. And so I made fun of Samoa Joe. I called him a fat piece of shit. I told him, he's got to get off his ass and do stuff. And that was me due to frustration. Because I like Samoa Joe, and I didn't want to see him be a fat fucking piece of shit. I wanted to see him wrestle some good matches, so fucking sue me. Because I wanted to see Samoa Joe do well. And now that he's in WWE, and that one... It's funny, it's actually Wrestling Jesus put it this way, and I totally agree with the man. He said that one moment with fucking Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe face to face, that one moment was way better than Joe's whole fucking TNA career. And if you think that's an exaggeration, it's not. I actually enjoyed that 10 times better than the AJ Daniels, Samoa Joe, what was that? Destination X from 2005, whatever that fucking match was, or whatever year it was from, 2005, 2006, whatever it may be. It might have been '06. Excuse me for forgetting that. It wasn't really that memorable. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that one moment with Samoa Joe not really doing anything, not even fucking saying shit. Samoa Joe staying quiet. That moment was better than any Samoa Joe promo, match, or anything having to do with Samoa Joe in TNA because it felt exciting. The crowd seemed genuinely into it. It wasn't just a bunch of fucking tourists at Orlando Universal on a fucking sound stage. No, it was actually a genuine reaction. People were excited, and there was tension. It was a moment. A moment. Now, with that particular word in mind, moment, when was the last time TNA had a moment or ever had a moment? Oh, they had segments, they had promos, they had matches, but did they ever have a moment? A moment, like where it seemed like time stood still. We've all heard this when we listen to, documentaries and stuff, and, with WrestleMania and all that, moments, or Rock and Hogan face to face. You know what I'm talking about? Those moments. No, there wasn't one singular moment ever in TNA. There wasn't ever a moment where you just stood there and said, wow, I feel the energy rushing through me. I feel like this is a true moment in wrestling history. Didn't feel anything like that. And don't lie to yourself. There was never, ever a moment like that in TNA. But they happen all the time in WWE. Even in this shit fucking PG era, we've been chock full of moments. Memorable moments. And this was a memorable moment. And I totally stand by that. That was way better. And I was happy because, like I said, I wanted to see Samoa Joe do well. And he's finally doing well. He's in the biggest wrestling company in the world. And, and he's going to have a match, obviously, with Kevin Owens. And it's going to be fucking amazing, without a fucking doubt. We're probably going to see the Samoa Joe from ROH. We're going to see that hard-hitting Samoa Joe. When Samoa Joe's got the crowd behind him, Samoa Joe could have a fucking amazing match. Just like he had those great matches with Punk and ROH. He's going to have a great match with Owens here in NXT. And there you go right there. Samoa Joe just one fucking night, not even a night, fucking 5 minutes being out there, and he's already being handled better. Just go ahead and watch it. Don't even have to watch the match, just watch the last 5 minutes of that pay-per-view right here on YouTube. Just watch it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see what I mean when I say that they handled him better than TNA ever did. And you've got Josh Matthews acting like a jealous little bitch on Twitter, crying because WWE's got Samoa Joe, the hottest free agent, so to speak, whatever he's considered. And, and the fans are happy about it and everything, and they're fucking jealous. Why? Because they're getting canceled. They got their big star who they had no idea what to do with, and they are fucking jealous as fucking shit. And still everybody, they like to treat TNA like the captain of the Titanic. They want to go down with the ship, and they'll still say TNA is great because it's not WWE. They hate WWE for whatever reason it is. For whatever reason that people hate anything, they want to be counterculture. They want to go against the grain would probably be the best, way to put it. There's no real reason to like TNA because it's fucking shit and it's fucking worthless and it's fucking irrelevant. And, for anybody that wants to say that WWE is out of touch, that's absolutely true. But TNA is 10 times more out of touch. There's nothing with TNA that really makes it feel like it's a big part of pop culture, like it's real hip and shit. No, it's pretty fucking lame. Everybody on the TNA roster is like fucking lame as fucking shit. There's no cool characters. There's not anybody really worth the fucking damn, and their whole roster now is just shit. I look at that roster and I can't even believe that Jeff Hardy is still there. A talented guy like Jeff Hardy and Austin Aries. Could you imagine if these guys came to WWE? Jeff Hardy would be treated like a king, especially now. He would be revered as a legend. He'd come back, they would promote him in a big match. Austin Aries, if they ever could work something out with him, he would be in NXT. And without a doubt, he'd probably be wrestling Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and shit and having fucking 4-star matches with them. Instead, Austin Aries is doing fucking nothing. It's the same thing with fucking Jeff Hardy. In feuds with fucking James Storm for the 1,000th time, or he's tagging with Matt Hardy again for the 50th time, or he's wearing a mask. He's Willow, for God fucking sakes. I mean, come on. They have no idea what to do with any of these guys. It's all random. They're trying a bunch of things, and they're all bad ideas. Just go to WWE and just, relive your former glory, perhaps, and make new moments. They come back and they be treated like legends. They treat Jeff Hardy like just a fucking jobber in this fucking Fed, and he could come to WWE and he could be treated like a main eventer. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer there. Not to say that WWE hasn't fucked certain things up, like with Kurt Angle, for example. If that story is true, then that one's on WWE and Vince. But, that doesn't really excuse TNA for their poor quality. So, just to wrap things up here, TNA is a pile of fucking garbage. I'm happy to finally see it get canceled. It doesn't deserve to be on TV. The promotion does fucking nothing to really warrant its own existence. It's just a really fucking stagnant, boring fucking pile of shit. And it's always been. And everybody knows it. My Impact reviews, I broke those shows down. I told you exactly why they sucked. And, there really shouldn't be any more fucking bones about it. There's no question about TNA sucks. If they're getting canceled, then that means that the network even thinks they suck, or the fucking fans think it sucks. It's not, besides you people here in the YWC, they can't even get a fucking million views. And if that's the case, then they don't deserve to be on fucking TV. Maybe they could stream it on their website like ROH does, Come on, that's not me being biased. That's just saying the truth. It's getting canceled for a reason. I'm not the one canceling it. It's not Sean's View canceling it. It's not Wrestling Jesus canceling the show. Nobody is canceling this. And for God fucking sakes, I'm watching various other people. These TNA fans are attacking Dave Meltzer because the motherfucker wants to just basically state the news. TNA is getting canceled. Oh, you're a TNA hater. Come on. Just because you report that it's happening, I mean, just like me making this video stating the obvious and just saying that I don't like it. It's not going to be enough for anybody else. They're still going to attack me. They're still going to fucking talk shit about me. Just because I'm just stating the obvious. It's getting canceled. That's all there is to it. Dave Meltzer doesn't deserve this fucking shit. I just want to end it with that. I mean, what disgusting attacks. This guy just, it's his job to report on wrestling. He's the biggest news reporter for wrestling, and you're going to attack him just because he's just giving the news. He's just delivering the news, and that's all it is. If that upsets you, don't read the man's newsletter. Same thing with these videos. Don't like these videos? don't watch them. You know, if something is really bothering you or displeasing you to the point where you're raging out against it, you know, don't fucking watch the show. You know, don't fucking read the newsletter. Don't fucking watch the videos on it. You know, if it's really going to cause you that much pain and agony, then for God's sakes, you know, do yourself a favor and just, you know, unsubscribe. Or, you know, why are you reading his newsletter if you don't want to hear the news? I mean, okay, if you want to live in the dark and not know what's going on with wrestling, you're a wrestling fan, you know, I don't know, it's like the same thing like PW Torch posting results to a pay-per-view. You don't like the results of the pay-per-view, so you're going to fucking rage against the person posting them, for God's sakes. Enough with this. It's asinine already, right? So Destination America is canceling TNA Impact, and thank fucking God for that.